Hey guys, in this video I'll show you how to clean up a messy mesh the right way with Instant Clean, the ultimate mesh clean Blender add-on. So you've just imported an asset from online or other softwares and now have to clean up all the issues that came with it by hand. It's painful, right? Therefore I made Instant Clean, which reduces this process to only one click. You can install it like any other add-on, but if you're not sure though, there is a detailed instruction in the description under this video. Once installed, you can press N to open the N panel and then navigate to Instant Clean. Here you'll find the main menu of Instant Clean, containing all settings, a preset system, as well as the clean button. I now go over all of the 5 categories and explain you all settings. After each category, I will execute it separately and show you how it affected the mesh. The first category is all about repairing the mesh, starting with a loose geometry. This is geometry detached from the mesh, flying around in the space, like single vertices, edges or faces, and most times you don't want them, so they will be simply dissolved. Doubles are vertices which are laying on top of each other, like you can see here. If the distance between two of them are below the defined distance you can set here, then they will be merged into one word. Zero faces are simply faces with no area, an area of 0, and they will be deleted as well. Next, dispensables. They are vertices like this one here, which is simply superfluous. So it's absolutely useless. If you dissolve it, you won't see any difference at all. So you can simply delete it. And last but not least, we have non-manifolds. That are faces with edges which are connected to more than one other face, like interior faces. And I think we have some right here, yes. And as you can see, the edge of this face is connected to this face and also to this face. So this is the interior face, and most time you don't want this, so this will be removed. Let's see by executing the category separately. And as you can see, all of the culprits were dissolved, as you can see in the detailed results. So we had some loose edges, some loose faces, a ton of doubles, and some dispensables, and a bunch of interiors. And let's see, they're gone. Nice. Also, the vertices are dissolved, and the doubles are merged. Everything is fine. Continue with dissolve. With this category, you can get rid of all the geometry laying on flat surfaces like the roof. All of these edges you can see here have an angle of nearly or 0, and this angle you can define here. If the angle of an edge is below the defined maximum angle right here, then the edge will be dissolved. So these edges will be dissolved, but this edge, for example, won't be dissolved because the angle is much higher than 5 degrees. We have also a boundary option. This is for meshes with open boundaries. Like when I delete a face here, we now have some boundary edges. And if I subdivide one of the edges and give the boundary a shape like this, and now you enable boundaries, then this vertex will be removed. But if you want to keep the shape of boundaries, if you have some in your object, then you don't want to have this option enabled, so simply keep it disabled. We have also some protect options. If you enable seam, then all edges which are marked as a seam won't be dissolved when you have this option enabled. The same goes for the other options like sharp edges, edges which are the border of UV islands, or edges between two materials. For example, if you give this face a material and this face another material, then this edge won't be dissolved. Let's execute it. And as you can see, our mesh looks very clean now. And we got rid of a ton of triangles. And you can also see the exact amount of vertices, edges, and faces right here. And maybe you're wondering why we have some edges here. This is because a face can't have an hole. So these edges are simply stabilizer that have to be there. Continuing with topology. So now we have lots of n-gons because of the dissolve operation. To convert them, we can simply choose quads or triangles. So in the most case, you want to have triangles because that's how the mesh is calculated in the background, and this would be perfect if you want to export the mesh to a game engine, for example. And you have also methods options for the algorithms used for the triangulation, but this is really advanced. There you can also look up the Blender manual about the triangulation algorithms that are available. But you can simply keep the default options beauty. They work fine. For the quads option, we have some compare settings, which are basically the same as the protect options, because quads will be dissolving some edges to make, for example, out of two triangles, one quad. So there have to be one edge dissolved, and here you can check what edge shouldn't be dissolved. And as you can see, our mesh is perfectly triangulated. And we can also see how the triangle amount has increased now. And it's by 84.97%, and now we have 100% triangles. The same goes when you use quads. And now we gonna talk about the fourth category, the normals. And you may have noticed all of the red faces you can see here. They are red because I've turned on the face orientation, and they are all flipped faces. So the normal of these faces are pointing inside of the mesh. And you don't want that. So you can choose to recalculate the normals. In our case, we want to recalculate the outside so that the normals of all faces are pointing outside of the mesh, so that we don't see any red in the outside, but everything red in the inside. We can also apply auto smooth automatically to all our selected objects with a desired angle. And we have also the option to add a weighted normal modifier. Also, some issues that come with imported objects are maybe custom split normals that were generated, and then you can't apply an auto smooth, or they will simply don't change the shading of your mesh. So you may want to delete them. And also there could be all sharp edges marked as sharp automatically. And if you don't want that, you can also choose to clear the sharp edges. So let's see how it works. And nice, as you can see, all red faces are gone. And to be precise, there were 50,056 faces flipped. So now the inside is completely red and the outside completely gray. The last category is about unused object data, like material slots or empty vertex groups, which are simply unnecessary and you can get rid of them. Therefore, you simply have to enable these options, and empty vertex groups or empty material slots, like when I add one material slot here, this material slot will be gone. And if I add a vertex group but don't assign any vertex to it, then this vertex group will also be deleted. Let's see if it works. And the vertex group is gone, as well as the empty material slot. So if you now found the perfect settings for your type of objects, then you can simply create a new preset of them by pressing this little plus icon here. And for example, I don't want to convert the topology, so I can turn off the whole topology category by clicking on it. And now add a new preset, my preset, and the new preset is in your list. And this preset will also be saved when you quit Blender or use it for any other projects. You can also override a preset. For example, if I change some settings right here, I can simply press this little save button here, and now this preset will contain these settings. And if you don't like any preset anymore, then you can press the minus icon to delete it. And now you're wondering what this big button here does. This does execute all of the categories, all enabled settings, everything in one single click. This is Instant Clean, the ultimate mesh clean Blender add-on. It's available on Blender Market and Gumroad. The links are in the description below this video, as well as a link to my Discord server where you can easily get in touch with me and also look into some devlogs and get a sneak peek on what's coming and join the conversation. I'm looking forward to seeing you there, and I thank you for watching.